guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast, the 6'4s hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. Neither one play games when swinging for them fences. We want the finer things that's expensive. To hit them either close range or at a distance. If God for me, why bother? I got my game from the Godfather. Top of the food chain, rock bottom. And handle my business when it was my problem. Jeep. Flossing with a gold chain. I got my Turkish rope with matching gold things. Bomber jacket in the winter, it's a cold game. I met some East Coast up in Spokane. Some of the realest in this dope game. I got my curly top looking like special ed. Clean fade on the side, bumping that red head. Clean tags when I ride, ducking the feds. East Coast, they get that bread. You you end up dead. The West Coast, they leave that spread. And now you got only your dread head.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Still trying to the riches.
East Coast, the 6'4s hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Greg Zuerlein now. He'll handle the honors to get us started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. First play, here's Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
1 for 1, a lot more to go. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd down, they go right back to Cook. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. They're trying for Reagor, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to get it back here just past the 35. Offensively, a far from ideal start there with a pick on the opening drive.
Yeah, not exactly what they were looking for. We know that. That's pretty obvious. The beauty, though, is it's happening early. If they don't panic, they don't compound this problem, they've got a long way to go and a chance to get back in it.
Stop made there by Brian Asamoah. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. This is Lazard with a catch out left. Short completion, just 4 yards. 3rd and 7 now. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Oh, wide open, complete. Touchdown, Packers. Romeo Doubs. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Packers are on the board here first in the season. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Cousins gives way to Cook. And this will be a Vikings first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Cousins on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Osborne. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Now Cousins. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And the Packers are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
But they're certainly not giving much up to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Again, it's Jones. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Overall, I'd have to say that was just really good team defense, because to me, you can't pin that one on the running back. He had no shot there. He had a man in his face immediately.
On 2nd and 11 now. Rodgers, a throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here's Rodgers. Now swing pass for Dillon. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
An 8-yard pickup. First down, Green Bay.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Packers with the football here to begin the second quarter. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Credit Zadarius Smith, able to get through and make that tackle for a loss.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. On play action, now Rodgers. Now this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They run again on first down. Cook. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and it's now 14-0.
Score, Packers 14, Vikings nothing.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams trying to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Cousins leaves him behind on the spin, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Up the middle, Jones. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. Now Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Yeah, there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, we're good.
Out of his end zone, Cousins. Quick slant here to Smith. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Their own 46-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And now the clock reads precisely 1 minute to go in the half. You want to run the 1 minute offense? This is a good test right here.
It certainly is, and definitely not a time to think about kneeling and going into the half. This is a chance to attack a little bit, but not having to get everything in one shot either. 10 yards here, 15 there. Work the sidelines, work the clock, give yourself a chance for at least a field goal going into the half.
To throw again on second down. Rodgers out of the backfield. This is Aaron Jones. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. He hits Dobbs on the crosser. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Packers going to burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Rodgers again now. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. On play action, it's Rodgers. Flush to his right. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Romeo Doubs making quite a splash with his 2nd touchdown in his NFL debut. And the Packers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And that makes the score 21-0. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The second half starts with a carry by Jones. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Being chased out left. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Defensively, Harrison Phillips there to stop him. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll go again to Jones. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
47 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the 2nd half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Touchdown, Packers!
Robert Tonyan
from 17 yards out.
And the Packers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and it is 28-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the 2nd half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook.
And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. Here's Cousins. Packer pressure, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. Another try after the 1st down sack. Cousins under pressure. They got him again. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. They'll look to throw.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
Now Austin. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And some room to maneuver. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That one 28 yards on the ground.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. His throw incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
7 yards to go.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. An inside give to Jones. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now. So here's Greg Zuerlein now as he'll try for the field goal. They'll spot it at the 30, so this is a 40-yard attempt. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will finish off this 3rd quarter of play. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. Zuerlein out now to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Oh, he didn't spike it. He faked it. Dancing to his left. And the pressure gets to him again. Devontae Wyatt. That is one that he will remember. His first career sack in his first career game in the National Football League.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Here's Austin. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
And he'll begin the drive with a give to Jones.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. A give to Jones. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory.
87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. On now is the Packers punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And not what he was hoping for there as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. Touchdown, Vikings! Irv Smith Jr., 65 yards. And the Vikings are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead is down to 24. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And it'll come out to the 25. Austin not going to try and return it. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Andrew Booth picks it off.
And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Wait a second, they declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how any time you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. Let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game, take the football. Always take the football.
44 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
A 6-yard gain brings up 2nd and 4.
Throwing is Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Rasul Douglas picks it.
And the Packers are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Well, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly, and what a benefit for them, able to pick that one off and hopefully put this game away.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They'll try and run some clock now with Jones. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Dillon now on 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. And they take a knee. Now, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in Week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening.
Hold up, it ain't easy breaking away or being a great. They slamming the door, I'm jumping the gate. Cause a starving stomach like being punched in the face. And an instrumental was the last time that I ate food from all of the base. My A-spoon goon, big son told me about the game. 20 years later, know my name. King, crown me, lounge in the back of the spot. Pay homage to an underground peasant, climb to the top. Funny style on elevators could never fade us. I peep data stain anytime they congratulate us. Goggles is worn and bottles is popping. I'm beyond Sanders.